Welcome back, everyone, to Mystic by Colette, the channel dedicated to helping you empower yourself, rewrite your story, and claim your I am. My name is Colette Mesdag, and today we're going to do another card reading. And as per my habit, I choose 3 cards, one from each of the Mystic cards, and we work through those with regards to the theme. The theme this week is one that came up in a workshop that I attended. We're always looking to expand and grow. So this is one of the ways I do is I attend some workshops. And one of the things that really resonated for me was this question of when you're faced with a challenge or a concern or even a doubt in yourself. The question is, what else is possible? So that's the theme today, and we're going to go from there, do the reading, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about some of the things that are happening and the cards themselves. So a reminder before I begin this reading and reveal the cards is that our theme is what else is possible? And I find that's an interesting question because it does open up a lot of possibilities. And it's very telling for me when I come up to some sort of block or challenge is to say, okay, this is where I'm at. This is the fear that's rising up. These are the questions or doubts that are rising up, but what else is possible? And this is something that I've been applying a lot for myself, and I encourage that you research the possibilities of how that can impact you. So let's look at the first card coming from the Mystic Bliss card, and that is I am prosperity. The theme of this image is a pirate, and when I think about pirates, especially the ones that are in my third deck, the Man of Magic deck, under the archetypes, I think about adventure, I think about new possibilities, and in this particular case, digging a little deeper for what is your actual treasures. And because we have a spade and some treasures. But the other thing I want to point out is that he is not looking at everything. He is looking at the one thing that right now has caught his attention and enjoying that, not getting wrapped up in the multitude of things that are happening. So what else is possible? Instead of getting wrapped up in where you're not, focus on where you are and enjoy in that moment and appreciation for what you have, who you are, where you are, what you have accomplished. And the phrase at the bottom says, when you believe, you will achieve. And I find that's very powerful. So believe in yourself. So what else is possible is opening up that belief about yourself. We're going to go to the second card. This one from the Mystic Journey deck. And this one here is number 37 of the deck. As you know, the second deck came with the numbers per card and the 4 categories. In this particular case, I'm looking at a crone card, the earth symbol in the corners. And of course, there's a lot of earth showing in the rolling landscape that's present. And I want to look at that imagery and speak about the ups and downs, the rolling, the motion that happens with regards to our lives, our experiences. Even a single project can have a lot of ups and downs. So what else is possible is looking at here, specifically, we're looking at all the positive and how, the surmounting the negative, going back up and climbing out of the depths is part of that exploration of our strength and our depth. And here we are looking also at a masked figure. And when I work with the masked figures in the Men of Magic series, I speak about going within and being aware of what's already there. So what else is possible is, instead of looking outside of yourself and looking for what you might feel is missing, look what you've already got. Sort of tying back into this first card about I am prosperity. So remember all the things that are wonderful in your life, the people that are wonderful. And if you are facing a challenge, feel yourself being encouraged by the people who are supporting you. And sure, there's going to be some people who challenge you, and I use this analogy quite a bit. Most of us will brush off compliments and positive comments, and you can get 100 on, let's say, a project you're working on, and then one person makes a critical remark. They may not even be meant to be critical, but comes across as critical in your perspective, and it comes crashing down. Everything you understand or believe starts to unravel. But what else is possible is focusing on those positive messages. I know it's not human nature to think about what is coming across as being, flattery or compliments, because we tend to brush those off, and it's hard for us to see them without feeling self-conscious. And yet we are so easy to accept a negative statement or a negative comment or criticism. Our inner critic is so awake. So it's time to tell that inner critic to be quieter. I don't even know why I put the opalite here, but it just felt important for me to incorporate that. I don't know if that's specifically for a couple of you out there watching the video at some point, that this will speak to you or that energy will speak to you, and nothing's really coming through. But I do know that I put the pendulum there as part of the response to what else is possible, is to ask, go within, ask the source, ask energy, trust your gut, and that does tie back into the masked figure that we have here. Once again, I don't spend a lot of time on numerology, but 37 can come back up to 1 or 10. So do look into that if that is what you feel drawn to do. Our third card is sitting in the East, speaking about imagination, creativity, and ideas, possibly dreams. So if you are looking for what else is possible, it may be time to tap again. I'm going to repeat this, but go within, tap into what's being downloaded, what's being sent to you, what has been sent to you that you may have forgotten. So what else is possible? Instead of here's my challenge, is to ask the question inwardly, what else is possible? And know that the answers that come to you, I am knowing, know that the answers that are coming to you are the ones that are meant for you to act on. So we have a gypsy in this particular case from the 11 archetypes of the Mystic Men of Magic deck. And the gypsy represents community and tribe and feeling comfortable no matter where they are in whatever situation they are. So what else is possible is for you to shed the doubt and the fear and know that you are worthy of the good and experiences that are coming to you. The interesting thing here is that we have very much a black and contrasty, from the skin tone and the peach and the white. So there's kind of like when I look at all three cards together here, I'm seeing the contrast. Weigh things out. What else is possible? Look at the positive and the negative. What else is possible? Don't stop asking yourself that question, because when you stop asking what else is possible, you get stuck in what is currently happening. So if it's not a positive experience and you want to shed it, allow yourself to know that you don't have to be stuck here. What else is possible? That feels pretty complete. And I want to go back to the other camera, review the cards, and speak a little bit more about what's going on in the mystic community here for me and for some of the people that are part of my membership. So we'll see you in a few moments. That's always interesting when I get as much out of a reading as the people watching or that I'm doing a reading for. So interesting for me was the prosperity card that came up as the first card in the reading from the Mystic Bliss deck. And this card is one that always makes me smile, and I enjoy doing readings and having some of these cards come up specifically for people because I know that it triggers something for them. But this card is about looking at what you have in your hands and not worrying about what is potentially going to go wrong. Enjoy what you've got already. So what else is possible is be in the moment. Look at what you've got and enjoy those things. When you believe, you will achieve is the message at the bottom of this card. And of course, as a pirate themed card, we're talking about digging sometimes for what you want. But definitely, I am prosperity, speaking about how much you already have in your potential. The second card that came up in this reading was I am influential. And this is number 37, so it is a 10, therefore a 1. Depending on your practice with regards to numerology or angel numbers, I'd let you make some definitions for yourself as to what that might mean additionally to what the reading spoke about. But what I want to point out here once again is the masked figure about going within. What else is possible speaks about, so the theme, what else is possible, wants to remind you to notice that you can influence yourself and your life and your situation and your conditions. You need to just be confident. Look at what you've already got within. Now, again, I know I've mentioned this in the reading, but the rolling hills speak about the ups and downs and the things that you might have to face. But what else is possible is the end of the journey and how effective you can be in the process by being influential, taking the bull by the horns, and making your choices for yourself. Now, the third card from this reading was I am knowing from the Mystic Men of Magic deck for awareness and action. And I want to point out here, if I don't recall if I pointed it out on the reading, but I want to point out here that this is the same model that posed for the very first card that was pulled for this reading. So there's something pertinent in that message, I think, that we have a doubling up of the same energy, the same character, the same exploration of this personality. But what else is possible in this particular case, I want to mention, can be about our different faces, our different stages. And the first card speaks about prosperity, and this card here, a little later on, speaks about knowing, inner knowledge, going within. And once again, this card is in the East, which speaks about your creativity, your imagination, ideas, and dreams. So if you have some dreams, if they can be possible, you need to make them happen. You need to push through any boundaries or barriers that come up for you. And for me, one big one is fear. Fear of stepping out into the bigger picture, of being fuller. So, but knowing that I have something to offer, knowing that you have something to offer is the other what else is possible. So rather than being afraid, rejoice in the fact that you have something to offer and know this information. So once again, thank you for joining me this week. And I look forward to seeing you next week when I do another Mystic Empowerment card reading. This week's theme, as I said, came from inspiration from a workshop, but I'm always open to receiving suggestions from some of my readers and friends. If you do offer a suggestion and I use it for a reading, you will receive a complimentary message in your inbox. That is a card reading message, similar to what I do for my Card of the Month members. I am taking renewals and memberships, new memberships for the 2019 year, so that it would be 12 months of messages coming into your inbox once a month. I am Also, once again, wanted to remind people that you can book for a card reading, a fuller card reading, anywhere from 6 to 15 cards, depending on your message and question. And that can happen in person here in my office via Skype, or I can do an emailed series sending you a photograph and doing the message by automatic writing. So that's one of the other things that I can do. And don't forget that I am going to go to press with the cards. The cards are now being offered in several different stores, and so far just the handmade version. But when I do go to press, I will be expanding my market as well as doing more online ordering. So I look forward to hearing from you. Comment below, subscribe, and let me know what you're thinking of the weekly readings. Take care now.